What's up, y'all? It's your boy JTMM, aka Just 10 More Minutes, aka the Freaking 10, back again with more Poets of the Fall with the Alexander Theater Sessions. And even though we're kind of closing in on the end of this series, I'm not necessarily sad. I'm more excited to see the original versions of these songs and what else these guys have to offer, because I think I've made it very clear on how much I love their music. I'm really hoping that I like this song because, quite honestly, this is one of the first days in the almost 1,000 videos, if not more, that I've put out where I've had two songs that I just didn't care for. That musically hit, lyrically told exactly the stories that they wanted to tell, but the delivery and the cadence was not, I was not a fan. So I'm really, really, really hoping that for today, the Poets turns that around for me right now. Because right now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not in the best of moods after those first two songs that I've listened to. Kind of disappointed. And I need a pick-me-up. Plus, I'm starting to feel like really congested and sinusy and almost vertigo, if I'm honestly almost feeling dizzy. So I'm hoping that I'm not getting some type of sinus infection again, because that would really suck. But the weather here in Texas has been just horrendous. I'll give you a case in point for those not in the area. Fahrenheit-wise, we've gone from like 75 degrees to 56. Yesterday it hit almost 80. It's going to be a high 64. You know, it's just been up and down with those temperatures. And man, it's just been throwing me off. So I start to feel it again. So if I sound a little nasally, I apologize. And maybe that's playing into why I'm just not in a good mood with these songs this morning. But I'm hoping Poets change that. His voice generally does. But let's see where it goes. This one is Children of the Sun. Now, I see it's featuring, is it Triosis Plus? Is it just Triosis? I see a plus after it, so I want to be respectful in that sense, but I'm curious to see what they do. Let's check it out. Ooh. First one where we don't just get that blank ambience. Oh, and it's being shot from far away.
Speech in a maze of white lies, so elusive it's hard to recognize. With naivety's eyes, it's like running with a knife. The thought steals away with your peace. High on that trapeze, you hold on to me. Hold on to me, and I'll be singing you songs of tomorrow. Then dawn will follow, and our sorrows
Okay, so I'm gonna stop there because else I'm just gonna listen to the whole thing without commentary, and that would be against what I like to do. Huge fan already. As soon as I saw that, I love when you know you get the strings just involved in a song. You know, you've got the violins, you got the bass or cello. I'm not 100% familiar with all the instruments. That looks more like maybe a cello, but I could be wrong. So the first thing I noticed, obviously, was hairstyle was different. He went away from the completely bleached. But just the beat. This is a masterpiece. I love these guys. I'm more excited of. This is gonna sound very odd, but I'm really excited. The more songs that I listen to, that I can then go add to a playlist to listen to in the car, because these are ones that I could just get into and sing and get lost while driving. Not literally, hopefully. Parallel to life, there's a wisdom that seems out of reach, like a figure of speech in a maze of white lies. That's awesome. Parallel to life, there's a wisdom that seems out of reach, like a figure of speech in a maze of white lies. Oh, I love that. So elusive, it's hard to recognize with naivety's lies. It's like running with a knife. The thought steals away with your peace, and high on that trapeze, you hold on to me, you hold on to me. And I'll be singing you songs of tomorrow, and the dawn will follow, and our sorrows all undone. And it doesn't feel like I'm even doing it justice with just reading those lyrics because of the delivery that he puts these across with. But the reason why I like, man, I really apologize. I'm starting to get this real sinus just rush here, so I apologize immensely. But it's the way that he's putting this across. You can go in and read lyrics, and this is something I don't think I've ever really touched on. I've said things about the spoken word in the open mic night before. But when you can take lyrics like this and you can clearly emphasize them in a song, that to me is the magic of music. Because if I go into an open mic and I was to read these, people would absolutely love it. But you match his voice to that, you add his voice to that, singing those in this tone, in this cadence, it brings that much more emotion. I think that's what the first two songs I listened to today lacked. Not as much the Sabaton, but I think the Nightwish one really, really lacked this in the Kinslayer song. To emphasize the lyrics through the vocals. And that's what poets, throughout these Alexander Theater sessions have just done effing masterfully. Like, I could feel the emotion, not just the visuals of them being on stage with the strings, but just that beat, how he's delivering it, the cadence, the God, I love these guys. When you're done with all the strife, when they echo the minds in the streets, you'll know your heart beats a solitary call. For the change in the tone of it all, you'll be scaling that wall, and the higher you climb, the more you can see of this life. On the edge of that knife, you hold on to me, hold on to me. And I'll be singing you songs of tomorrow, and then dawn will follow, and all our sorrows undone. I really like this. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, I'll be singing you songs of tomorrow, then dawn will follow.
was magnificent. Okay, so I'm going to make an assumption here that it took me a second. I wasn't even thinking about them. I was so enthralled with the song itself, but now I see Triosis Plus, because the first three, as soon as they started focusing in, I was like, I think those first three are sisters, and the plus is that I'm not sure. Again, I'm not as familiar with the orchestra instruments, but I believe that's the cello and that's the bass. But I could be wrong. But those three are sisters, and that's the plus. Because I started looking at the facial features, and they look a lot alike with the first three. What an amazing song. And I really... the verse that I really like is coming up, and I'll repeat it again here. But then it's, I'll be singing you songs of tomorrow, and then dawn will follow. We are children of the sun. And you can take the story. Take your glory, make your own way. Yeah, I want you to shake this story, take your glory, find your way, make your own way. As a parent, that is our biggest emphasis to our kids, right? Make your own way. Take your own path. Take everything you've learned and just make it yours. And that really just doesn't apply to kids. That should be, even parents after the kids. I mean, just make your own way. Parenting isn't a handbook, right? I mean, it's every instance is going to be different. You have to just take the facts and make your best decisions. But you make it your way. Quite honestly, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. Society can kiss my ass. I'm not here to please society. I'm here to make my kids the best kids that they are for themselves. Not for society. Society is full of BS. But they can take theirs, make it their own way, and do it their own way. Oh, this is such a good song. Oh, I love this song. Wow. The beat, it's got this beat that just catches you. And again, we're at episode 10 out of, we've got Rebirth and then Carnival of Rust, right? As the next ones. But I'm just dying to hear these in their original forms. I really am. I cannot wait. This is so good. There's no other way to say it. I could keep babbling on and on, but I won't let you watch that because, man, I needed this song. I needed the song after the start. That being said, that's going to do it for this one. I hope y'all have a great Wednesday. Until the next one, y'all know who I am and what I'm about. JTMM. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm out.